Pleated skirts are actually easier to make than you think. I made this pleated skirt in 5 hours, and this is how I did it. If you're new here, I'm Gabby from QUAINT, and on this channel, I share sewing tips and tutorials to help you to become the sewist of your dreams. I'm Jamaican. If you are too, big up yourself, but if you're not, leave a flag in the comments. I want to know where you're watching from. Step 1 is cutting your fabric at the right length and width so that you'll be able to form the pleats. Now, I'm going to show you a very simple, easy formula that you can use to know exactly how wide to cut your fabric so that you can start to create the pleats for your pleated skirt. The first thing you need to be aware of is the fact that pleats are Z's. The letter Z, just think about it, right? When you look at a pleat, you'll notice that it forms a Z. So there's the part that's on the inside, and then there's the part that's folded, and then there's the part that's on the outside. That means that every pleat has 3 parts. Now, if every pleat has 3 parts, that would mean that if you are creating a 2-inch pleat, that would not just take 2 inches of fabric. Instead, it would take 6 inches of fabric. What's your waist measurement? Mine is 30 inches. I'm going to divide that 30 inches by 2, and that 2 is the width of each of my pleats. Now 30 divided by 2 is 15. So that means I will need 15 pleats. Given that you're gonna have 15 pleats and every pleat takes up about 6 inches of fabric, 15 times 6, and that is 90 inches. So you need your fabric to be 90 inches wide. But hold on, we have to make sure that we add seam allowance. And that seam allowance is about 1 inch in total. And if you want to take it even further, you can have 2 inches of seam allowance, just to give yourself a lot of safe space, right? Because accidents can happen. You're gonna add that 1 inch to the 90, and that gives you 91 inches. That is how wide you're gonna cut the fabric in order to be able to create pleats. The next thing you're gonna do after that is to make sure that you have the length that you want for your skirt. So I went ahead and measured the length of this brown pleated skirt that I have, and then I put that together with the 91 inches of width. If the fabric isn't long enough, you can stitch multiple pieces of fabric together to get the desired width. Measure 1/2 inch from the raw edge for the seam allowance and draw a line. From that line, measure and mark every 2 inches until you get to the other end of the fabric. There should be a 1/2 inch space over there as well. Finish the raw edges of the fabric with your serger or with an overcast stitch on your sewing machine. To make the pleats, start by pinching and folding the fabric at the first line and matching it to the second line after it. So that means you're gonna skip the line that comes after it and move on to the line that's after that line. Pin it and repeat those steps until it's all pleated. Take it to your sewing machine and top stitch 2 inches down from the waistline of the fabric. Backstitch at the end to keep it from pulling out. Stitch over the waistline of the skirt to keep the pleats in place. If you're tired of forgetting the steps to your sewing projects, join my Patreon and download the checklist that will go along with this sewing tutorial. Press and fold the hem by 1 inch. Cut several strips of fabric to make belt loops. Mine are 3 inches long and 1.5 inches wide. Fold the sides of the fabric to the middle and give the belt loops a press. Fold it down the middle and give it another press. Stitch both the sides of the belt loops. Mark the center of the skirt waistline and measure 4 inches out on both sides. Put a belt loop on both sides and then put belt loops 4 inches from those as well. Put belt loops at the back too. You can arrange these any way that you feel like, and you don't even have to use as many belt loops as I have. Stitch them down. Curved waistbands are supreme because they fit the curvature of your body a lot better than straight waistbands. This sewing tutorial will show you how to draft a pattern for this curved waistband. Cut 2 pieces that match your pleated skirt and 2 pieces of fusible interfacing to iron on the back of each waistband. I feel like straight waistbands are more appropriate for men's clothing, and they somehow came over into women's clothing. Put the waistband pieces right sides together and sew along the top edge with a 1/2 inch allowance. Top stitch the allowance to one side, whichever side that you prefer, but that side will now become the wrong side of the waistband. It's gonna look like this. Now you're gonna fold the raw edge of the wrong side inwards, or should I say upwards or to the wrong side, by a 1/2 inch and press it flat. You do have to make sure that you follow the curvature of the fabric here. Trim away a 1/4 inch from the other side of the waistband. Fold the waistband in half and mark the center with a notch, but you can also use a chalk or pin. Match the center of the waistband to the center of the skirt, right sides together. Sew the waistband and the skirt together with a 1/2 inch allowance. Add a zipper to the skirt by using a zipper foot. You do that by pinning the zipper right sides together with the waistband and skirt and stitching along the sides of the zipper teeth. This sewing tutorial will show you how to properly install a zipper. Fold the waistband over the zipper in the opposite direction and stitch along the teeth again. Cut away the excess fabric in the corner of the waistband and turn it over to the right side. This part is so satisfying to me. Match this waistband seam with the other waistband seam to ensure the zipper is in the right spot. Sew the zipper on that side as well. It really helps to switch the zipper foot over to the other side so that you can stitch from the top. When you stitch from the top, the zipper is less likely to shift. It's very common that when installing zippers, you will stitch one side from the top and then the other side from the bottom, but that can actually do more harm than good. Hold the fabric below the zipper together and stitch from the hem up to the zipper with a 1/2 inch allowance. Try to come in alignment with the zipper stitch like this. Sew the hem of the skirt as well. I find that a 1 inch hem makes the skirt look a lot more professional than if you were to use a 1/4 inch hem. Bring the zipper slide down and stitch in the space that's between the waistband and the skirt. This is called stitching in the ditch. Give the waistband a press to make sure that it's nice and flat, and if you find that your waistband is twisting too much, pull it out and start over. Pin it into place if you have to in order to get the most accurate stitch. After that, stitch each belt loop a 1/2 inch down from the waistband. This is going to give you more space for a bigger belt. To sew the other part of the belt loop, fold it under by a 1/2 inch, put it on the top of the waistband, and put your sewing machine on a zigzag stitch with a 4mm stitch width and the lowest possible stitch length. Zigzag stitch in place to secure each of the belt loops. I did the same thing at the bottom of my zipper because I had cut my zipper shorter than its original length, so this is to keep it secure. Give your pleats a press with a press cloth over them to make them nice and crisp. Now the reason why I use a press cloth is to make sure that my iron doesn't ruin my fabric or make it too shiny. If this was helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in one of my next videos.